This is the new ground station version 2.0. Why is it version 2.0? Because in life, lots of things that I start building seem to take on a life of their own and change themselves up. So I did get in the two new little 5.8 video transmitters, but when I did, I found the antenna connection went on the left, whereas the Uno transmitter, when I had it on here, the antenna connection went on the right. Therefore it was logical to mount it just off the side of the big pepper box on the right so that the little pepper box could go around it. Now this receiver does not have any controls on the outside of it at all, so you can mount it either way you want to. The controls were on this side and the mount was here, so I had to take all of this off the left side, put it on the right side, and then mount the 5.8 on the left side. By the way, I've decided to use this video receiver as a bench video receiver. I never throw anything away most of the time, so I'll just set this over here, and when I want to, I can plug in a battery and receive video on it real quickly and easily on the bench. So, what do we have here? I did install the little digital video recorder down here in the bottom with some Velcro. I can move it between this ground station, goggles, wherever, whichever one of these diversity controllers is outputting. They have 4 outputs. That's another feature of this box, is multiple video outputs. So I'll just plug the DVR into this one when it's being used, or plug the DVR into this one when it's being used. Doesn't matter. I'll have a digital recording of what I'm receiving on this. So that's there and working. I did install a 5.8 video transmitter up here and ran the wiring down here so that if I need to use relay for whatever reason, I can relay the output of either one of these video controllers down here and video receivers. I can relay that video to my goggles that contain 5.8 video receivers inside of them via this one. This is one of those older 5.8s. It only does like 8 channels, but with these doing 40, I can set this like on channel 1, set this on channel 40, wide distance apart. Even though the little antennas are so close together, they won't mess with each other when they're receiving and then retransmitting that far apart. So the 1.2 side, if you understand radio theory, my box I use to control my platforms, my RC controller, uses 433 megahertz. This box right here, the long range UHF. So when I've got this in my hand and I'm using it to fly with, I'm transmitting on 433 through this antenna. Well, 3 times 433 would be right in this 1.2 band on this side. So this antenna transmitting here on 433 can interfere with the reception of 1.2 video on that side of the ground station. Might not knock it out completely, but it can mess with it. So frequently when people have this set up, they will have this ground station receiving their 1.2, and they'll be 20-30 feet away with their controller and have a cable running out one of these 4 video ports to the goggles, glasses, monitor, whatever they use. I can do that wirelessly by receiving the 1.2 here, transmitting to my goggles via this 5.8, simply by connecting the video in of the 5.8 transmitter to whichever controller I'm wanting to use, and then at the same time I connect in battery, I'll connect in power for the transmitter up there, and that will relay the 1.2 through the 5.8 over to my goggles, and I can be 20 yards away, and that way my RC control transmitter will not interfere with my 1.2 video. It may not. I may be able to get a 20-foot RCA cable out of either one of these diversity controllers and run that straight to my goggles and monitors and be fine. We'll see. But by the same token, if the little 5.8 Pepper box is picking up better than the 5.8 receivers on my goggles, I may want to use this instead of the built-in audio video receivers in the goggles and monitors, and take a cable over from this to the goggles for better reception than their internal receivers can do. Or I could as easily, when I plug this side in, take the output of one of the 4 ports for the diversity controller out to that 5.8 transmitter and transmit the 5.8 out of this that's getting a better reception because of the Pepper box into the goggles X number of feet away. So I hope that's kind of explanatory. Just an overview. 1.2, 1.3 gigahertz video side, 1200 megahertz, 1.2 gigahertz, same frequency, just a different measure. Megahertz versus gigahertz. 1200 megahertz is 1.2 gigahertz. So this and the big Pepper box antenna, which this is all mounted on the back of the 1.2 Pepper box, is so full, all does the 1.2. This side does the 5.8. Again, these are close in omnidirectional antennas for both sides, and the center boxes are the 5.8 and 1.2 Pepper box, and then the diversity controllers, and then the 5.8. And you can see if I turn it over the size of the 1.2, because the 1.2 radio wave is a whole lot bigger than 5.8. And this is the little 5.8 Pepper box. They're really directional, and they really go long range. So there's the whole physical setup. I don't know what else I would say about the physical setup of this, except for I had to redo it all. So this is Audio Video Ground Station 2.0. That's the end of the physical structure of it. Let's check it signal wise.